In the annals of American true crime, one name continues to echo through the decades, shrouded in mystery and menace. A name that represents not just a series of brutal acts, but an intellectual challenge, a taunting game played with the public and the police. Why, after more than half a century, are we still so captivated by the Zodiac killer's codes? He mailed cryptic ciphers to the press, daring the world to uncover his identity. He claimed dozens of victims, sowing terror across Northern California. And then, as quickly as he appeared, he disappeared into the fog, leaving behind a legacy of fear and a puzzle that remains tantalizingly incomplete. This isn't just a story of crime, it's a cold, complex puzzle etched into history. The reign of terror began between 1968 and 1974. A string of confirmed murders and terrifying near misses haunted the Bay Area, each attack seemingly random, yet meticulously planned. The story starts on a cold winter night, December 20th, 1968. On a secluded lover's lane on Lake Herman Road in Benicia, high school students David Faraday and Betty Lou Jensen were on their first date. They were shot and killed outside their car. There were no witnesses, no clear motive. Just a brutal, baffling crime that marked the violent debut of a killer who would soon name himself. For months, the case went cold. Then, on the 4th of July, 1969, the killer struck again. In a park in Vallejo, Darlene Ferrin and Michael Mageau were sitting in their car when another vehicle pulled up. A man approached with a flashlight and a gun, firing multiple shots into the car. Darlene Ferrin died. Michael Mageau, despite being shot in the face, neck, and chest, miraculously survived. Less than an hour after the attack, the Vallejo Police Department received a chilling phone call. The caller, in a calm, rehearsed voice, took credit for both the Blue Rock Springs and the Lake Herman Road murders. He had set the stage. Now, he was ready to introduce himself to the world. On August 1st, 1969, 3 newspapers received nearly identical letters. In them, the author provided details only the killer could know. He also included a 3-part cryptogram, which he demanded be printed on the front page of the papers. If they failed to comply, he threatened to go on a weekend killing rampage. And for the first time, he signed his letter with a symbol that would become infamous, a circle with a cross through it. The Zodiac had been born. The killer's audacity escalated. On September 27, 1969, college students Brian Hartnell and Cecilia Shepard were picnicking at Lake Berryessa. A man approached them wearing a bizarre executioner-style hood and a bib adorned with the cross-circle symbol. In a terrifyingly calm manner, he tied them up before stabbing them repeatedly. Before leaving, the attacker walked to Hartnell's car and drew his symbol on the door, along with the dates of his previous attacks. He then called the Napa Police Department to report his double murder. Cecilia Shepard succumbed to her injuries 2 days later. Brian Hartnell, despite suffering 8 stab wounds to the back, survived to give a detailed account of the horrifying ordeal. Just 2 weeks later, on October 11, 1969, the Zodiac brought his terror to the heart of San Francisco. Cab driver Paul Stein picked up a passenger who directed him to the affluent Presidio Heights neighborhood. There, the passenger shot Stein in the head, took his wallet and keys, and tore off a piece of his shirt. In a critical error, the police dispatcher mistakenly reported the suspect as a black male. Responding officers passed a white male walking away from the scene, but let him go because he didn't match the description. It's widely believed this was the Zodiac, slipping through their fingers. Days later, a letter arrived at the San Francisco Chronicle containing a bloody piece of Paul Stein's shirt, proving the author was the killer. In it, he mocked the police for their blunder. This was the Zodiac's final confirmed murder. But his campaign of terror through the mail was far from over. The Zodiac's letters were his stage, but his ciphers were the main act. He sent at least 4 major cryptograms. They were a direct challenge, a way to prove his superior intellect. The first, the Z408 cipher, was sent in 3 parts to the Bay Area newspapers in August 1969. It was a homophonic substitution cipher, where multiple symbols can represent a single letter, making it harder to crack than a simple one-to-one code. The FBI and NSA cryptanalysts were stumped. But just 1 week after its publication, a Salinas schoolteacher, Donald Hardin, and his wife, Betty, solved it at their kitchen table. The decoded message was a chilling, misspelled rant. The killer claimed he enjoyed killing people because it was so much fun. He also wrote that the people he killed would become his slaves in paradise, and that he would not give his name because it would slow down or stop his collecting of slaves for his afterlife. The solution confirmed the public's worst fears. The killer was not just violent, but deeply disturbed. With his first code broken, the Zodiac needed to up the ante. In November 1969, he mailed his masterpiece, the Z340 cipher. With 340 characters, it was far more complex than its predecessor. For decades, it stood as one of the most famous unsolved codes in history. Top cryptographers from the FBI, CIA, and countless amateur sleuths tried and failed to break it. The Zodiac had created a seemingly perfect enigma. For 51 years, the Z340 held its secrets. Then, in December 2020, a breakthrough. An international team of private citizens, American software engineer David Orenchak, Belgian programmer Jarl van Eyck, and Australian mathematician Sam Blake, cracked the code using custom software and sheer persistence. The message was another taunt. I hope you are having lots of fun in trying to catch me. I am not afraid of the gas chamber because it will send me to paradise all the sooner because I now have enough slaves to work for me. Once again, he misspelled paradise. The solution offered no name, no clues to his identity, only a renewed glimpse into his twisted psyche. 2 ciphers remain. The Z13, sent in 1970, consists of just 13 characters and begins with, "My name is," and the Z32, which came with a map of the Bay Area, supposedly pointing to a bomb the Zodiac had planted. Both are too short for traditional cryptographic analysis, leaving their meanings open to endless speculation. Are they genuine codes holding the killer's name and secrets? Or are they meaningless symbols, the Zodiac's final, unsolvable joke? With a killer who craved the spotlight but hid his face, the investigation spawned dozens of suspects. Over the years, a few have risen to the top of the list, though none have ever been definitively proven to be the Zodiac. The most prominent early suspect was Arthur Lee Allen, a former schoolteacher with a troubled past. Police interviewed him multiple times. A friend claimed Allen had confessed his desire to kill people, use the name Zodiac, and attach a flashlight to his gun. He owned a Zodiac brand watch. However, the evidence against Allen was entirely circumstantial. His fingerprints and handwriting did not match the samples from the Zodiac letters. In 2002, DNA testing on the saliva from the envelope stamps also excluded him. While he remains a compelling figure in the case, the physical evidence simply isn't there. Other suspects have emerged over the decades, often championed by independent researchers or authors. Men like Richard Gaikowski, a newspaper editor whose work schedule aligned with Zodiac activity, and Lawrence Kane, a career criminal with connections to the area. More recently, post-mortem investigations have pointed to individuals like Gary Francis Post, whose alleged involvement was promoted by a team of private investigators. In each case, intriguing coincidences and circumstantial links abound, but the concrete, verifiable proof needed to close the case remains elusive. The suspect list is long, but the evidence trail is short. So why does the Zodiac case remain unsolved after all this time? The answer lies in a confluence of factors. First, the evidence itself was limited. In an era before widespread DNA analysis, investigations relied heavily on fingerprints and eyewitness accounts. The Zodiac was careful, often leaving behind minimal physical traces. The partial prints that were recovered were not enough for a match. Second, time is the enemy of any cold case. Witnesses' memories fade, evidence degrades, and suspects pass away, taking their secrets with them. The DNA evidence recovered from the letters was contaminated over the years, making it difficult to build a reliable profile. And finally, we must consider the killer himself. The Zodiac was a master of misdirection. His letters and ciphers were designed to taunt and confuse, to send investigators down countless rabbit holes. He blended real violence with a theatrical performance, creating a myth that has far outlasted the man. The Zodiac case is more than a series of crimes. It is a dark narrative, a puzzle box where every solved piece only reveals more complexity. The identity of the killer may be lost to time, but his chilling legacy is forever encoded in our history.